Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freighter. While Jamaica is plagued by a serious crime problem, the government and tourism stakeholders have always found proactive ways to put measures in place to insulate tourists from this scourge which has been creating protracted misery for many locals. In fact, many people feel that the all-inclusive concept was created primarily to keep tourists inside the hotels and away from the hustle and bustle of normal Jamaican everyday life. Occasionally, a tourist who strays away from the established protocol and tries to be too adventurous sometimes strays into the wrong neighborhood and ends up getting a taste of the raw Jamaican reality. There was a case of a North American tourist armed with his camcorder who decided to go into one of Montego Bay's inner city community, claiming that he wanted to get a feel of Jamaican ghetto life, and he did. When he re-emerged, his jewelry, money, camcorder, watch, shorts, shirt and sandals were all taken away. But to save him from total embarrassment, he was left in his underpants. There has also been numerous cases of tourists, especially white North Americans, meeting random Jamaicans on the street and going off with them and end up getting robbed of their valuables and in some instances their credit card information. However, inside the hotels, especially the larger ones, it is normally seen as a safe haven where visitors could roam about freely without fear of being robbed or molested in any way. It is against that background that an incident that occurred in Montego Bay in 2018 was so unusual, if not abnormal. In that incident, a staff member of the hotel tried to rob and rape two tourists at gunpoint and ended up being shot as the visitors turned the tables on him. In this edition of Lest You Forget, I will be revisiting that story from a story I wrote for The Gleaner, which was published on September 28, 2018, under the headline, Hotel Arrow, Tourist Shoots Gunman Rapist in Mobe Resort Drama. The story read as follows. The festering crime problem that has been plaguing St. James jolted the tourist sector on Thursday night when a gunman barged into a hotel room in Montego Bay, raped two female tourists before he lost possession of his weapon and was shot by one of the visitors. After he was shot, the gunman allegedly jumped over a balcony and fled. The weapon, which was reportedly stolen from the room of another guest, was turned over to the police. Based on our initial investigations, the gunman was employed to the hotel 2 days ago as an entertainment coordinator, so it was not someone who walking off the street, a police officer told the Gleaner. The gun he had in his possession was stolen from the room of another guest who is a licensed firearm holder. According to police reports, at approximately 11:15 p.m., the two visitors who are from Detroit in the United States were in their room at the Royal Reggae Hotel in Ironshore, Montego Bay, when a man who was armed with a handgun walked in on them. With gun in hand, the man demanded that they perform various sexual acts on him. While he was raping one woman, the gun reportedly fell from his hand. The other woman picked up the weapon and pointed it at him. He tried to disarm the woman, who fired 2 shots at him. He ran out of the room, jumped a balcony and fled. The police who were summoned to the property found blood stain below the balcony. We believe he was shot either once or twice, based on the amount of blood below the balcony and on the ground leading to the bushes of the hotel compound, said a police officer. We will be carrying out further searches to see if we find him. Based on preliminary investigations, the police have identified the gunman as Demar Scott. However, there is uncertainty about where he is from, as the police have found 2 identification cards for him, giving 2 different addresses. One ID card said he is from Exchange District in Ochariah, Senton, while the other says he is from Comfort District in Williamsfield, Manchester. When we went to the location, one of the women handed over a 9mm Glock 17 pistol, with serial number DTN-201, said a police officer. It was loaded with 16 live rounds of ammunition. Confirming the incident in a statement yesterday, the management of Rio said, "Last night, September 27th, there was a very unfortunate incident in the Rio Reggae Hotel in which 2 guests were attacked by a trainee at the entertainment department of the hotel. The man, who had been in training for only 3 days, was able to escape. The hotel management immediately called in the police. We are unable to share further details, both for the protection of our client's privacy as well as not to interfere in the investigations being already carried out by the local authorities." Subsequent to the incident at the hotel, it was discovered that Scott was a serial rapist who was wanted in several police divisions, having committed similar acts against other women. Following a manhunt, the elusive Scott was eventually caught and brought before the court. He was found guilty and was slapped with a substantial sentence which will keep him off the street for at least 2 decades. In looking back at that incident which gave Jamaica's tourism a black eye, it was definitely one of those unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica. Unforgettable stories out of Western Jamaica from the scrapbooks of Adrian Freitas. Before you go, please remember to subscribe.